Good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll finish up for today with the JRC here in a moment, but first, the disclaimers and the trigger warnings. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shots campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are going to be found right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the massive archive link we have posted in every video from Autistic Hoya. That's where you're going to find all the receipts in regards to the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center. We also have a link to Neuroplastics article, the one where they surveyed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. The same one that the JRC threatened them with a defamation lawsuit with if they didn't remove it from their website, no less. Obviously, Neuroplastic refused. The link is still working, folks, so please read that article and share it. Also, we have linked in there the GoFundMe we set up for Neuroplastic, just in case the JRC ever does see through with their threat, because unlike them, unfortunately, we do not have access to unlimited streams of money. Trigger warnings. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you do got young children present, please utilize the headphones. Also, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We do use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child's 16 and younger and they're watching this, parental supervision is very obviously advised. Also, in regards to the JRC, because of the way that they write things, you may have me repeat the same facts over and over and over again. I'm not any more amused about having to do so than you are to hear it. The JRC is notorious for continuing to just slop the same gaslighting nonsense over and over again. So when you go in to dissect their madness, you have to end up saying the same things over and over and over again. I do apologize for that in advance. Alright, where we left off. The law's concept of the family rests on a presumption that parents possess what a child's lack in maturity, experience, and capacity for judgment required for making life's difficult decisions. Here we go again. I'm going to read the rest of this, and then I'll repeat myself again. More important, historically, it has been recognized that natural bonds of affection lead parents to act in the best interest for their children. Have you never heard of abusive parents, JRC? You know, the individuals that nearly beat their children to death. How about the individual cases where parents have, trigger warning folks, raped their children, or allow them to be assaulted by one of your other children, or a caretaker, for example? What about the parents who neglect and starve their children to death? Or my personal favorite, the individuals who handcuff their disabled kids to radiators while they sit there collecting their Social Security checks and spend them on themselves, while when cops finally find out what's going on, those kids are covered all over with burns and so malnourished it takes years to get a healthy physique back to them. By the way, these are not isolated incidents. In fact, the number of those incidents are climbing every day. I know this, JRC, because I receive the reports through the neurodivergent grapevine. Every single death, every single murder, every single illegal action that people like you and pseudoscience put these kids through including doctors who try to get their parents to inject their children with bleach. That speaks to the contrary. In reality, we can't just assume that obviously the parent's going to act in their best interest, because that's not always the case. In fact, a good majority of us neurodivergent folk, in fact, I have not met a single fellow neurodivergent in my life at this point. I am 40 years old, that has not been exposed to some form of horrific trauma or abuse or another by means of caretakers, teachers, babysitters, siblings, parents, school teachers, church leaders, youth leaders. It's an endless list. You want me to go on? How long do you got? Because I can go all day. Well, they're the parents, so they obviously know what's best. You see, this one parent is a primary care physician, Karen. They do not carry multiple degrees within this field. As a matter of fact, in spite of being a doctor, a direct care staff that interacts within the field of mental health and acting as a primary carer for one of us has more knowledge in regards to treatment for folks like myself than a primary care physician does. Okay? Because they're not the same field. Please stop insulting my intelligence. It's annoying. Okay? But they know what's best. They've tried everything. And you've never answered a single challenge in regards to why these kids have no records of ever having a proper full functional behavioral assessment done before they're getting shoved into these schools and different programs. You can try all the schools in the world, but if none of those schools you're sending the kid to has any idea what the issues are, because no assessment has been done, what the hell do you expect is going to happen? Those assessments exist for a reason. Things are done in the order that they are for a reason. You can't pound your chest and scream that you've tried everything, they went to all these schools, nothing worked, when literally the bare minimum can be done to fix a whole lot of things that have gone wrong, just by going back and doing a full functioning behavioral assessment, so that you have the pertinent information on hand, in particular where the difficulty areas are, where they're extremely strong. All of that is pertinent information so that you can send them to a program that specializes in helping specifically with the issues they're having the most trouble with. It's the most logical thing in the world. You continue to refuse to explain to us why this is not even being suggested to these parents before you force them through your doors and force them to drink the Kool-Aid. Please spare me but the parents and the consent. Okay? And again, do you know how many very deeply loving parents who love their children more than life itself have gotten into cults? You know, Let's think Jonestown here. You think those parents didn't love their kids? They absolutely did. But they had their desperation preyed upon by predators. And they used their ability to draw them in and bring them into the true believer phase of it, where no amount of coherent, logical evidence to show them otherwise was going to convince them that what was happening was horrifically wrong. And those parents, who I have no doubt love their children, were responsible to get their kids to drink that Kool-Aid. This is reality and a fact. This idea that, well, obviously, they love them, they'll never make decisions that can harm them, is idiotic. Parents make mistakes. Parents get taken in by charlatans every single day. I've had parents within the pseudoscience circles who have spent thousands of dollars that they didn't have to spend on this powder or this fish oil, or we're going to do the non-gluten diet. We're going to put patches at the bottom of your kids' feet at night to drain out all the heavy toxins. Here, if you shoot them with bleach, that will purge the autism from them. I'm not going to debate you on whether those folks love their children or not. Parents can be misled, especially parents who are desperate. And if they don't have an individual that can help guide them through the service system, they can have predators like the JRC prey on that desperation. When that happens, it highly diminishes the parent's capability to make logical decisions in regards to the best medical and mental health care for their kids. This is a proven fact, all right? Because of these reasons, remember, back to the Christian Science lawsuits I have mentioned, when it becomes obvious to us that the parents are not making rational decisions in regards to their child's medical and mental health care, the state and the Fed, whether departments or actual government individuals themselves, have a right to step in on the behalf of the child. How much parents love and have affection with their kids has nothing to do with it. Parents who deeply love their kids get taken in by charlatans every single day. You should know this best of all, JRC, because you are one of the worst predators on planet Earth that take advantage of that desperation and play on those parental fears while you make thousands of dollars each year off of their children's suffering. And on that, folks, we're going to go ahead and close out on this one. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.